Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, and I'm just wondering about two people who spend their lives in the hottest of spotlights as people with the Dallas Cowboys. In segment one, Jerry. In segment two, Dak.
In 1993, Bob opened the original Bob's Steak and Chop House on Lemon Avenue. 32 years later, the original Bob still greets you at the original Bob's. And now his sparkling new Bob's at Craig Ranch has opened in McKinney. Same fantastic beef and fresh seafood at these two Bob's, each run by the Bob's Steak and Chop House. Crest is again proud to sponsor the McKinney Police Association Golf Tournament and Car Raffle, October 24th at TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney. Sign up and purchase a raffle ticket for the opportunity to win a brand new Crest Cadillac CT4. It's easy. You go to crestcares.com. You don't even have to live in McKinney to win. Grab yourself a raffle ticket, sign up at crestcares.com, perhaps win that new vehicle, and do support the McKinney Police Association.
In this city, it's hard to imagine anyone being more of a lightning rod for public opinion than Jerry Jones and then Dak Prescott. Let's focus on Jerry first. Last week, Jerry got really angry at some radio hosts for pressing him on mistakes he may have made. This week, lots of people are angry for Jerry Jones for his explanation of why Derrick Henry, who's running wild as the league's leading rusher with Baltimore, isn't a Dallas Cowboy. Jerry had two reasons for Henry not being here. Number one, he didn't have the money to sign him. Number two, if he were here, he wouldn't be having the kind of year he was having in Baltimore. First, about Henry. He's a walk-in Hall of Famer. He isn't, at 30 years old, showing anything like the kind of decline that Zeke showed maybe 3 years ago. He lives in Dallas. He works out in the offseason in Dallas. And the word is that Derrick Henry wanted to be here. But he isn't. Let's go to Jerry's two comments. First, that he didn't have the money to sign Derrick Henry. That's true. Jerry's correct there. And that's with Henry only making a measly, that's not measly to most of you, but a measly $8 million a year for the next 2 years. The Cows didn't have that much money? Well, no. But who's at fault for that? That's Jerry Jones and his son, Steven. They run this organization. They manage this cap. They were waiting to give $94 million total to Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb in new contracts. Meanwhile, a lot of good football players that the Cowboys owned, drafted, developed, they left. And others, like Henry, who wanted to be a Cowboy, they found the bank closed. Look at it this way. Consider this list of players. Left tackle Tyron Smith. Defensive end Dorrance Armstrong. Center Tyler Biadasz. Defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins. All those people were solid starters for the Cowboys last year. Now you add Derrick Henry to that list. Those 5 football players, as close as I can determine, will between the 5 of them earn $35 million this year. That's roughly what 1 year of CeeDee Lamb's new contract will get him. This is no knock on Lamb. It's a knock on the Cowboys' cap management. Why is Dallas in this situation that they couldn't keep and couldn't go out and add vital pieces to this team? Well, that's Jerry. Second, let's take Jerry's point that Henry, were he here, would not be having the year he's having in Baltimore. Again, Jerry is absolutely correct. The offensive line here isn't nearly as good as the offensive line in Baltimore. So Jerry understood that. He already has understood that very early in this season. This is a terrible running game here. I mean, terrible without Henry. With Henry, what would the running game have been here? Maybe average. And then Jerry added that Henry wouldn't fit the scheme here. You've got to be freaking kidding me. Not fit the scheme here? With a player as good as Henry, he changes the scheme. Micah Parsons doesn't fit a regular scheme. You develop a scheme that takes advantage of his particular talents. Do you think Coach Big Mac wouldn't have liked him here? Do you think he wouldn't have changed the scheme a little bit to accommodate Derrick Henry being in the room? Listening to Jerry, I'm reminded of my dear late sainted mom's use of a word in this situation. It was a 7-letter word beginning with a B. Baloney. And if she were alive today and heard Jerry's comments, she might be using an 8-letter word beginning with B. While you ponder what that word might be, we get ready to come back and talk about Dak.
Introducing Star Power Smart Home Solutions, where cutting-edge technology meets effortless living. Control your entire home with just a tap on your smartphone. Adjust the lights, set the temperature, ensure your home is totally secure, all from the palm of your hand. Experience the ultimate solution in comfort and security for your family. Start by going to the website, GetStarPower.com. That's GetStarPower.com.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
Let me begin. That's a 5-letter word beginning with B, begin, by assuring you this segment is not at all an excuse for Dak Prescott's play this year. Think of it more of a possible explanation of what's going on with Dak and the Cowboys offense. My opinion of Dak has not changed. You heard me talk about it last week, if you remember that, where I thought Dak was somewhere between the 12th and 18th best quarterback in the league. And right now, he's playing near the bottom of that chart of 12 to 18. He's having the worst pro quarterback rating of his career. This is year 9. But how about at least a partial explanation? Quarterbacks need help. From Patrick Mahomes to Deshaun Watson, they need help. Now, some quarterbacks need more help than others, for sure. Doesn't seem Mahomes needs as much help as the quarterbacks need, but that's a topic for another day. Here's Dak's situation. He has absolutely zero running game. It's pathetic. The Cowboys are last in the league in yards rushing and last in the league in yards per carry. That's trash. Now, if you want to balance the Cowboy offense, there's no way to do that. This running game doesn't scare anybody. So, what are they waiting for? And how are the Cowboys to move the ball? They are to move it on Dak's arm. Well, his primary receiver, CeeDee Lamb, missed camp waiting for his huge payday. And so far, the Dak-Lamb connection, which we were told during the camp by the Cowboys, people who run the organization, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. They've got this fabulous chemistry. Well, that's not true. They don't have this fabulous chemistry this year. And if he's not connecting with Lamb, who's he connecting with to move the football? Well, you could throw it to Jake Ferguson. He's a pretty nice player at the tight end. And you could throw it to who? Who else you throwing it to? The Cowboys have one really excellent talent on the offense of all the skill position players to help a Dak. Lamb is a star, or at least he was last year. Ferguson's a solid player, but that's all. That's all. And remember, Troy Aikman said something Jerry's denied, Coach Big Mac has denied, but Troy Aikman said when he looked at the Cowboys, he thought Lamb looked lazy and that the routes they were running were very poor. So, who gets blamed in all this? Well, Dak Prescott gets blamed because that's life in the NFL. You blame the quarterback. That's life, especially life with the Dallas Cowboys. Then, of course, Dak has this offensive line with two rookie starters, or at least two were starting the first 4 games of the season. And this year, his line has allowed 16 sacks in 6 games. That projects to 45 sacks for the season. In his 8 years in the NFL, Dak has been sacked 40 or more times in a season once. Let me again stress this. I am not alibiing for Dak Prescott. But perhaps we should close with an example from farming. You take a farmer, a pretty good farmer, but you give him broken tools and barren ground. How can you expect him to raise a bumper crop?
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial, Retire Sooner, Better Lifestyle. And by Crest Cars. There's good, there's better, and then there's Crest. By Star Power, love where you live. And by Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering with Norm Hitzges. If you enjoyed what you heard, please hit follow, and a fresh new episode will be delivered to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you know someone who might enjoy our work, please share it with them. I'm Norm Hitzges, and I'm always just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.